All right. It is now 6:32. We are in session. Excuse me. Notice is hereby given that a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks, Texas will be held on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. at City Hall, 22870 Priest Road, Sandy Oaks, Texas, where a quorum of the City Council will be present. All agenda items are subject to action. You can join the meeting at the Zoom link provided in the agenda. The public will be permitted to offer public comments in person, telephonically, or by audio as provided by the agenda and as permitted by the presiding officer during the meeting by signing up with the city secretary at least 15 minutes in advance of the meeting if providing comments in person, and at least 2 hours in advance of the meeting by emailing the city secretary at City of Sandy Oaks or calling the telephone number if speaking telephonically or by audio. An audio recording of the meeting will be made available to the public in accordance with the Texas Public Information Act upon written request. Madam Secretary, may I have a call to order and a quorum call, please?
Sure. Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado.
Here.
Alderman Fillinger.
Here.
Alderman Coffindaffer.
Not here.
Alderman Rapino.
Here.
Alderman Tremblay.
Here.
As we are all here, City Secretary is also present.
Yes, 6:32. And the city attorney is present. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flags. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
All right, citizens to be heard, persons wishing to speak may sign up with the city secretary in the time and manner as indicated as above. This time is provided for citizens to address the city council on issues and concerns related to the city of Sandy Oaks. Please note that the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the city council from responding, commenting, or discussing items or topics during this portion of the meeting that are not included on the agenda. The city council appreciates hearing from the citizens, and your thoughts and questions are valued. However, civility and a sense of decorum will be strictly followed. All speakers must address their comments to the city council. Speakers shall refrain from public criticism of members of the city council that are prohibited by law. This item will be open for up to 30 minutes with 3 minutes to each speaker. One person may speak on behalf of a group. Up to 3 people may register on behalf of the group for the spokesperson to be allotted up to 9 minutes to speak. If there are more than 10 speakers, each will be given 2 minutes or 6 minutes for a group spokesperson. At this time, I do believe we have 2 people signed up to speak. We do have Ms. Maduro who emailed earlier, so ma'am, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I have been out looking at the website and have noticed a couple things I wanted to bring to your attention just in case you're unaware of that. And then at the end, I do have a suggestion on something that may help. So first I was looking at the ordinances resolutions. As you know, I've read most of them, so I was looking at the ones for 2024. And I've noticed that there's several that are missing. In 2016, when ones aren't used, they're indicated as void, but that's not the case. That's happened now. However, like 228 would fall sequentially under the 2023 numbers, but it didn't get out until 2024. So it could just be that you haven't quite got to them yet. They weren't approved, they've been postponed, but 232 and 235 are both missing from the ordinance site. Also, if you look at 2024-253 master fee schedule, which was passed on the 25th of January, it states specifically in section 1, the City Council of the City hereby adopts a master fee schedule attached here too as Exhibit A. Exhibit A is not existent with that link. And I was looking at that because someone asked me about a fee for something. So there are citizens that are trying to find that, sir. And in terms of the resolution, if you look, it goes in 2024, it goes from 192 to 203. I know that in the April-May timeframe, at least 5 resolutions were passed that are not yet posted on the website. So, and I know that there's still some that are being considered, and that could be why some of them are missing. But I know it's leading to some questions. People have noticed that out there. Next, I was looking at the city council meeting page. I noticed that the last meeting minutes were posted for the meeting on the 23rd of May. The 28th of March is not even posted. Although the date is there doesn't link to anything. 29th of February is not labeled as a special meeting, but the 2nd of May, which was also a special meeting, is labeled that it was such. The 25 July audio link also doesn't go to anything, although the date 25 July is posted there. And then on to my suggestions, sir. I know on August 2014, this city council passed ordinance 2014-1, the very first ordinance you passed, which was to adopt Robert's Rule of Order. And something that may assist in getting the meeting minutes done in a more timely fashion, if you were to follow Robert's Rules of Order recommendation, that's in section 48, which says, minutes should contain mainly a record of what is done at the meeting, not what is said by the members, emphasis provided in the original text. It goes on also to mention that, and not verbatim, that it should not include opinions and judgments. It's meant to be a factual record. If the council does want to include discussions, then it should not be personalized who said what, and just try and remain more factual so that it's not trying to transcribe the entire recording, sir. Just something that might help get the meeting minutes done and approved and posted in a timely manner, because May 23rd, that's 2 months ago, sir. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, and I do believe we have, can't remember your name, from
James.
6S, James from 6S Engineering, who's signed up to speak. Sir, you do have the floor.
I just want to introduce myself. I'm James Lewis. I'm with Success Engineering. I've been tasked with being the engineer in training that works with Sandy Oaks. I just want to introduce myself so everyone has a face. And I was in a rush. I did not bring any cards, but I will make sure that the cards are brought next time. So if anyone have any questions, you can just email me or call me.
So
Thank
6S Engineering is a part of, is our city engineering firm. They would be a part of any projects on the roads, buildings, parking lots that the city operates in. So you would see him or his supervisor pretty often on site, just kind of reviewing. So just wanted to give him an opportunity to speak.
Is your email address available on the city website?
It is not.
No, we can put Jess's though, or we can add yours too.
That's nice.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir, appreciate it. All right, mayor and administrator announcements. Really, the only announcement that I had at this point is if we, and I know there's a crowd here today, if you look in your agenda, there's agenda item F and G. Those were actually passed on Monday, so if you came for those items, I apologize. Those items are not going to be discussed today because we were fortunate enough to do them on Monday. We just put them on the agenda as a saving grace should we have not had completed that. So if that's why you came, I'm sorry, but you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of it. Only other item to add is on a personal level, congrats to the Bernie Little League team that's in the All-Stars in Cooperstown. They play on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They're in the championship. So I'm a baseball fan. My son's on the mound right now, so I hope this meeting ends quickly so I can get over there to his game. All right, moving right along. Consent agenda, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. We do have some of those minutes that we're missing on here. We have speaking of Success Engineering, we have one of their invoices here. So if you have questions, he can answer them. And we do have our prosecutor and city attorney invoices here as well.
Okay, so 5C is not here?
Yes, sir. 5C is not present.
Okay.
Okay. Then, if there's no discussion, I move that 5C be withdrawn from the consent agenda and the remaining items approved.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to withdraw item 6C, 5C. Remove item 5C, approve minutes from August 8, 2024 City Council meeting, and approve all other items as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. All right, moving right along. Agenda item 6A, discuss under possible action on appointing a commissioner to fill the vacancy of the Planning and Zoning Commission and our procedures to fill vacancy on the Planning and Zoning Commission. Do we want to postpone that?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to consult probably with the attorney on the feasibility of putting these responsibilities of planning and zoning on the city council. Seeing as we're having such a hard time filling the planning and zoning commission, could we not take on those responsibilities as the council?
You can abolish the P&Z and council would act as the commission, or it'd just be council making
We
those
discussed
decisions.
that before, I believe.
Can we do that this evening, or do we need to come back with a
You
resolution?
probably need to come back with
Okay.
that on an agenda.
I'll get with you then and see if we can prepare a resolution for possibly put it on the next meeting. So it would be A and B, we can just.
Yeah, A and B will be postponed.
A and B.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, discuss under possible action on an application of Lupe Arellano for license to encroach in the city's right-of-way pursuant to ordinance 2020-176 by approximately 23050 Copper Canyon Drive. All right, so on this item C, so I did some research, talked to the city of Bulverde. So they do have a landscaping application that they can implement. However, in talking to their engineer, they presented, or they advised me, of TxDOT's code, which states that, hang on, I'm trying to see if it's here. TxDOT's code that has a minimum distance from the road, what's called a clear zone. So in a rural area, locally, right, which I roughly approximate that we would be a rural area, local, there's a 10 feet minimum clear zone width. So if we were to accept the application for an authorization to encroach, it would have to be 10 feet off the road per TxDOT. No, it's not currently. So that means there would have to be a movement of the pillars back 10 feet off the road. So it's the best middle ground that I can find to support not only the citizen, but also to enforce our ordinances within the local laws, within other cities' ability to approve these type of landscaping agreements. The other part of it is that there would be some sort of an agreement that would reciprocate to say that we would not be responsible for any damages should we have to go in and repair the right-of-way, repair the driveway. That's on her because she built that.
So you're saying you're going to allow encroachment into the right-of-way?
Up to 10 feet off of her property line.
Her
Well,
property line?
no, let me take it back. 10
10
feet
feet
from the
from the-
road. 10
from
feet
the-
from the road.
From the street edge.
Which by TxDOT would give it enough room to where there would not be considered to be a danger.
Yeah, I actually believe there should be nothing beyond the right-of-way. There should be nothing in the right-of-way. We ticket vehicles for parking in the right-of-way, so we ticket trailers, 18-wheelers, tractors, what have you, that are parked in the right-of-way. So if we're going to allow a permanent structure in a right-of-way, what I'm saying to people who just want to temporarily block the right-of-way.
What I'm saying, because I don't disagree, what I'm saying is that TxDOT would allow this anywhere else.
I don't think we should, because I just think it'll get out of hand here before you know it, everybody's gonna be putting stuff out and blocking streets, visibility.
I mean-
There's some out there now that are that are questionable. So I just believe that anything in the right of way should not be allowed.
I'd like to address it also.
Sure.
TxDOT's requirements are a minimum. And I just don't see where the city, the original reason that we did the license to encroach was to grandfather in a property. Because literally they would have to tear a corner of a garage off to clear the right of way. And they couldn't sell the property. The title company wouldn't move the property without a license to encroach. But I don't see, I am not aware of any city in the state of Texas that says, sure, go ahead and put your gates and your fences and your, other than a mailbox column.
Yeah. Well, I like it.
I just don't, I don't see any advantage to us to allow a permanent structure within the right of way. And long term, any license to encroach has to include, we're not liable, because sooner or later, somebody's gonna tear that down. I mean, that's what a right of way is for.
Yeah.
If I can just add to that as well. There's Texas Code 157.02, which regulates, that's a state code, regulating how fences can be placed. And per the code, no fence or structure shall extend past the property line. So I would take it back to the property line, which is up to the right of way. And that's pretty much the code. I believe we should follow the code.
And to take it one step further, on our website, we have it posted. It says right-of-way is property that is owned by the city, county, or state on the edge of all roadways. The right-of-way can vary 50 to 60 feet wide. And then to close, it says, in either case, approximately 15 feet of lawn is usually the right-of-way. This area is reserved for public utilities, drainage, work, new driveway installation, and we allow the driveway for entrance to their property. That's an allowance, because we own the property, right? So then it says, the following are prohibited in the right-of-way. Residential construction to include fences, trees, and shrubbery, sprinkler systems, ornamental landscaping, invisible fencing, lighting, personal signage, parked vehicles. So it was posted, been posted.
Several years.
Are not people advised when they buy to check with the city to determine
Exactly.
what is allowed and what is not allowed?
Right. And we all have pins on our properties that they use for surveys. Anything within the pins is your property. Anything outside the pins doesn't belong to
Even
you.
before there was a city, when
Right.
it was just a homeowners association.
Right.
And I don't know if anybody contacted these landowners or not, or whether they bothered to check.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. it's a the land.
Unfortunate
Yeah,
situation, but
I have some sympathy because we still have real estate realtors that are selling property as rural property. No, it's not a city. I'm sorry, but it's a buyer beware. And after stating that, I move that we do not issue a license to encroach, and we ask them to remove that within 30 days.
I'll second that motion.
All right, so I have a motion from Alderman Fullinger and a second from Alderman Tremblay to not approve the license to encroach and to remove within 30 days. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
All those opposed? Moving right along.
You said 30 days.
Yeah. Agenda item 6D, discuss and or possible action on establishing an ethics policy for elected and appointed officials.
Can I speak on this first?
Sure.
Okay, since I was the one that held this up the last time, and don't get me wrong, I think ethics is a good thing to have. I myself have been on an ethics committee, albeit a medical ethics committee, which is entirely a different thing, and I think that a city should have an ethics policy, but a general ethics policy for all participants in the city government. And I would gladly sign on for something like that, where we should have, like many other cities, have a plaque.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because the one that I presented today from Great Forest, City of Great Forest, does include both the employees and the council. But before I go through that, I would like to say, there's a recent incident in San Antonio that has something to do with this, and that person was reprimanded by their ethics committee. And while generally speaking, okay, he did something wrong, it went to the ethics committee, they reprimanded him, that's it, that's all they could do, write it up, and then come election time, maybe you remember that ethics committee reprimand, and that's it. It's in his file, it stays there, nothing else happens.
And that's all we could probably do, if we could do that, I'm not sure. I
Right.
don't know.
The other part of it is, that is a committee, which means there's people assigned to it, which means we need volunteers, which means we can't even get people to sign up for the P&Z Commission. So how do we want to start a new committee, creating more bureaucracy, more red tape, and we still can't fill in other positions?
So we wouldn't
That-
have to start a committee, we could just use the council as the ethics.
So the council would police the council?
Is it mandated,
No,
the committee?
but then who does
No.
it then?
Well,
It's
that
so
incident
it's
you were
as-
talking about, Mayor, was the council that was, I believe.
No, they have a special committee.
Do
for
they have
that.
a special
Yeah.
committee?
But it's not mandated.
Which is independent, right, of the council, so don't have a personal opinion of, I don't like Tom, I'm gonna make sure that this reprimand goes, or I'm gonna at least complain about him. That's what I want to avoid. You wanna have a sense of independency, and if we're up here judging each other, if you piss me off, right, then I'm gonna be like, well, Grace, she does this, she
Yeah.
doesn't like this, and so
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
and I would stand on my integrity,
Sure,
right?
sure. And then we
Sure,
come to another meeting and wasted our time because I've called it, because I've decided to issue a reprimand to you.
But that's already happening.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, then who would we have
Sir?
on the committee? Because the same dynamic exists with people that you have on the committee.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Unless
because everybody
they're-
knows everybody here, so.
Unless
If
they are
Alderman
totally.
Fillinger and myself could address this, seeing how we initially
Sure.
submitted this agenda item. I'm gonna,
In
Alderman
the
Fillinger
37-page
speak
document that nobody wants to pursue, okay? For an ethics complaint to be addressed, it has to be a sworn notarized statement, whether it's against an employee, an alderman, or the mayor, okay? The city attorney is exempt from this process. The municipal judge is exempt from this process because their professional associations and laws have a separate ethics regulations,
Which we do too.
okay? But there is a process that city council would be the judge, but an employee or a citizen, if Mayor Martinez goes out and gets crazy, assaults a woman,
Plausible.
okay? I didn't want to bring me into the conversation, but she files a complaint, then we have to follow up on that. Now, we don't really have a legal recourse. And again, the level of things that we can address is within there.
Yeah.
But we have in the past passed ordinances restricting the mayor to not be able to sign over $100 check. Okay?
Yep.
Because we, as a city council, we have some authority as to policy and how things are handled. If, as a for instance, Tom Rapino gets a complaint made against him, then we can remove him from the park committee. So we can change. God bless you, Tom, I don't know one person in the city of Sandy Oaks that would file a complaint against you, but were it to happen, we have some recourse, okay? We cannot remove a member of the local government, okay? If we get to that point, somebody has to file a lawsuit in the district court to remove an elected official in a type A Texas city. Okay. But we do have some, if you're elected for 2 years and the city council has to send you a letter of censure a couple of times, that's probably gonna mean somebody's gonna run against you at the next election. But I think we need to be directly accountable for what we do, what we say to the citizens of Sandy Oaks. Because right now, we do not have a way for them to file a complaint or address a complaint other than come to a city council meeting and they can say whatever they want to and we're not going to respond at all.
Well, I think if we pass an ethics policy, then that tantamount gives us the authority to do exactly what you're saying, regardless. I mean, it gives the council the authority to follow through with an ethics policy and whatever
Situation.
mode that they have to hold people accountable within that policy by virtue of the council's authority of approving it.
So why
I would
not,
think.
so why not just make it with the Texas Ethics Commission?
'Cause,
We need something in place.
if I may be so bold, sir,
Mm-hmm.
unless there's lots of blood and headlines, the Texas Ethics Commission is not going to address a local issue.
No.
Okay?
But then, I mean, I think that's fair for what we're doing too, unless I went and cut Mike's cable off without knowing, Mike Avendano, then he can't, I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just using that as an example.
What this ethics policy will do is put some teeth into a policy, whereas, as Alderman Fillinger stated, it gives us authority to restrict their duties. If someone violates
What duties?
whatever duties, if, let's say,
But let's talk about it.
Animal control.
What duties
Animal-
do you have? What duties do you have?
no, I'm
Duties-
talking about people that are assigned to a committee, maybe people that are assigned to a committee, people who are in charge of the shelter.
So you're gonna
We
do
do.
them a favor by removing them from the committee?
If
We
they're
don't
not
have any-
doing their job,
We don't
If
have
they're not doing
anybody
their
else to
job,
do the job.
If they're not doing their job, then we need to restrict their duties. If Tom was, he's the investment officer, if he's.
Picking on me.
You're the only other
Tom
one.
is blatantly and not notifying the city on how he's investing our money and it crashes wherever he puts it, now it loses
He's
money.
going to jail.
But
We have the authority, we have the authority
Investments
to
are risky.
remove it.
Right.
But, I mean, we need, we have to have some authorization, a policy in place that gives us the authority to act almost as a court to
The
keep
point
ourselves
is,
in
the
line.
point is to have something in place. It may never be used.
So-
Because we all
we're-
have
so
integrity,
we're
and because
creating
we
another
all
policy.
excuse
Sorry,
me,
yeah, you're right.
and we all are doing our job. It
So-
may never even be used,
Right.
but we want something in place. We don't want to wait till we get there and not have anything in place.
So we're gonna create a policy that can, hold on.
Oh, who's there?
So we're gonna create a policy that potentially may never be used. So we're gonna create more.
Just
red
like
tape.
we have everything else in place, just
And
in
then
We
case.
have, exactly.
Exactly, all the policies
That's
and
the
all the
city, right?
ordinances.
That's the purpose of a city and council.
Mr. Carpenter for.
All right, okay. Terry is present on Zoom. Terry, you have the floor.
So far, everything that we've been talking about here with this ethics committee. Number one, it's been brought to us as a policy
It's
that would
not a
only
committee, it's a policy.
affect the city council and the mayor, those of us that are elected. However, I keep hearing the rumblings of this is for the city employees as well. Make it part of the employee handbook, not as a standalone policy. As already brought up, yes, the state does have a ethics complaint. Now, I understand that Alderman Bellinger's disagreement, saying that the state would not look at something in such a small town, but I believe that with enough roar from any citizen, they would. So that, to me, that's not holding water. As Mr. Rapino has already said, Alderman Rapino has already said, we've all taken an oath. Anybody who sits at that table has taken an oath, and the classes that cover ethics that says we will behave, that we are not going to be condoning nepotism. This is coming back from something else. One citizen filed a complaint. That's it. And they felt that it should stop with the city council. City council should not have that kind of authority over one another. If a citizen has a complaint, they have options. One, we get reelected every 2 years. Number two, file a complaint with the state. It's already in place. So yes, now I haven't seen this packet, how many pages it is, but the last time I looked at it, we were almost at 50 pages, 3 different policies, and no one policy out there. So my apologies that I have not had a chance to read that today before getting on this meeting. I've been slightly on the busy side. So please understand, I absolutely disagree with this, and it is a waste of the city's time. If anything, this could go down as an ethics complaint, that those of us sitting at this table are wasting the money of the community by having the lights on having this discussed. I yield the floor. Thank you.
Do we want to
I've heard
vote
Al-
on this?
I've heard Alderman Coffindaffer's opinion, his statements. I've listened to Alderman Rapino's. I would make a move that we adopt an ethics ordinance that mirrors Gray Forest, city of Gray Forest, and that the attorney prepare it and that it be signed and approved.
I think you should prepare it. I mean, if we're
It's a
gonna,
legal document.
if we're gonna task, you're gonna work through
It's
this.
a legal document.
Well, the only,
Approved by the mayor?
the
Yeah.
agenda says elected and appointed officials, it doesn't address employees, so.
Excuse me?
The agenda just says elected and appointed officials, it doesn't address employees. So either that can come back for future action
It does.
regarding the employees.
No, that's not the one.
On
I'm
the
looking
agenda.
at address it.
If it's gonna cover the employees as well.
No, the employee handbook covers their
Okay,
policy.
so this would
was
just
for
be for
elected and
elected
appointed
appointed
officials. And again, the motion
Then,
is.
then we
is-
need to revise the
Right,
employee handbook.
correct. For this statement, the move is to approve an ethics ordinance that mirrors
Is it
the
an
city of
ordinance
Gray
or is it
Forest that pertains to elected and appointed officials. That's the motion.
I second.
So I have a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado to adopt an ethics policy similar or mimicking the city of Gray Forest.
So this one?
Yes, sir. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
All those opposed,
I oppose.
we got one opposition. That motion passes. Moving right along. All right. All right, discuss and or possible action on additional payment to be made to Axon invoice. So in the shuffle of adding and removing chiefs of police. The $1,000 payment for Axon was missed. However, they were fine with that because the payment wasn't due until July. So what I want to do is actually take about $5,000 from the current budget and make a payment to Axon for the F-10 late tasers. And then an additional payment will be made in the next fiscal year. And we've actually structured the payments to happen about $5,000 or so every year for the next few years. Just to save the city some upfront money and to allow the police to have the budget that they need to operate. But I present you this invoice because it's only the $1,000, but I'd like to make authorization to pay up to $5,000.
Oh, okay, that's what I was confused
Yeah.
about.
So
Okay.
the previous order
Previous
was,
over was $26,000.
and it wasn't paid, but we
No,
did,
no, no.
we did.
'Cause it wasn't
we did-
due.
We
It was-
commit the money.
We committed to pay the money. It was just a $1,000 requirement, which is what this is today, right? My recommendation is that we send more than that. We send $5,000, so that we can get started paying it down, get it down a little quicker. Then in the next fiscal year, which it's built into their budget, we make another $5,000 or so payment, and then we just do that every.
And I've talked to the chief about why we're going with the 10s. I understand that, but if we could have him explain it so that the other council members understand why we're going with these 10s rather than what was initially
sevens.
ordered.
No, that's what we ordered.
Initially,
Initially,
Chief
sir,
Lopez ordered,
he ordered the tents.
He ordered the
initially.
tents.
Yes, sir. So I called up Axon and tried to, well, first I called to just,
To cancel.
well, to cancel the order. We couldn't cancel the order. We'd already committed to it. So I said, well, what's the difference in price between the 10s and the 7s? And they gave us the 10s at a discount price. There was only about $100 difference between the 10s and the 7s. And it was actually going to come out to more money to cancel the order and reorder 7s. So we got, he had ordered 10s initially, and they're already here. We've already
sold
received
out.
them.
Okay, when we spoke,
we're
they weren't
stuck
coming
with-
till October.
Right, well,
Right.
yeah, that's what they said, but they arrived, the final pieces to them arrived today.
And the
Okay.
cartridges, how are we?
Arrived today.
And how are we set on an inventory? Are we gonna be able to get cartridges for them?
Yes, we should, well, we've already got several cartridges for them, so we shouldn't have to order any for quite a while. I don't foresee us going through them quickly, but yes, they've already sent the cartridges, a vest to train with. They're also gonna, with the packet that the prior chief ordered, we're gonna receive training for up to 5 people to be certified instructors in it. And we already received the tasers as well.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thanks.
And we have the money in the police budget to pay this $5,000.
Yes, sir.
I move we pay the
Pay it.
$5,000, sir.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion from Alderman Fillinger and a second from Alderman Rapino to make a $5,000 payment payable to Axon, invoice INUS 265208. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? That motion passes. All right. Moving right along to agenda item 7B. Discussing our possible action on amending the 23-24 city budget to support a full-time city administrator.
After, I'll go ahead and just pick that up. After some discussion, we've, because of the short time frame, we just decided to just go and pull that item. But I will move to item, the next item, if I can.
Yes, sir.
Item C. And I would like to just go ahead and authorize a advertising to fill the position for the city administrator, even though we're not, it's in next year's budget.
Yeah.
But just so we can start getting some applicants, maybe we'll get lucky and get some people to apply. The other thing is, even if we put off filling the position, we could build a database of individuals who are interested, rather than we
Potentials.
wait till the last minute, we apply and we're sitting here and we're months in without filling a position. It's actually happening with other positions that we
Yeah,
just,
we've had a.
we should have an open continuous announcement rather than putting a deadline. Not sure how that would work as far as advertising. We publish it once in the newspaper, publish it wherever, But we could leave it continuous on
Yeah.
our
On the
website,
website.
as
So-
an open continuous announcement.
So I can answer a portion of that. For TML, we can do a permanent ad, that's good for a year. And then you take it down at any point. So, yeah, we can leave it up there and just kind of get a poll and you see what happens with it.
So that's what
My-
I'd like to do, is we can,
And I want to say this not to, is it related to it? It's not really related to it. I guess, let me throw it out and you tell me if I'm wrong. So the only opposition that I have advertising is I have spoken to our chief, who does have an administrative background, has an HR background, on top of law enforcement, and he wants to take on some of the city administrator roles, and he would like to, and then we could also administer some of the city administrator roles to the council for the purpose of being able to allocate some of that budget towards his department to ramp up staffing, to reach his goal of 24/7 police force in Sandy Oaks. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's,
We'll just put it on the agenda.
I do believe that the chief should be doing police work,
Yeah, me too.
not city administrator work. It's great if he could, if he has some knowledge about something that we're trying to do, and he
Guidance.
can
Well,
contribute some guidance.
yeah.
But I wouldn't want to put additional responsibilities on him, taking it away from what he needs to be doing.
yeah. And I'm not gonna speak for the chief, but I think a part of the one thing that me and him talked about is that it's, I hate to say it like, it's kind of tit for tat, right? Like, he's willing to take on, but not if the budget's not gonna transition to his side, because he really wants to bring the police department. I mean, again, I know we're getting off topic, so maybe it's for another discussion. But yeah, if you wanna, make a
We
motion.
need to advertise for city administrator.
Right.
I don't
I-
believe in splitting
Do you wanna add anything?
responsibilities. It never works out right.
Right.
Somebody's gonna get the short end of the stick sooner or later.
Right, I don't, I also feel that the police chief has a lot to
Yeah,
deal
a
with,
lot. That was
just
his
bringing
plate,
it up to
yeah.
par, And then if he wants several police officers, then he's gonna have that task also. I believe that we can support him and he can give us guidance.
Sure, I mean, we would appreciate anything he could contribute, surely.
Sure.
When we're prohibit him from, participating
Right.
in any project we have going on that he has knowledge of.
Exactly.
Just for the purpose of this, I would
Yeah.
like to just go ahead and advertise the position.
Advertise for the
And
city.
again, make it some type of an open continuous, or like you say, an annual thing where it would be advertised in TML for a year. But we do need to go ahead and publish it any other way that we would normally publish for a position.
I agree.
So that would be my
that was like,
motion,
is
that
that your
we,
motion?
that we advertise for the field city administrator
And I know
position.
you agree, but is that a second?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Alderman Rapino to advertise for a full-time city administrator. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes. Would anybody like to take that on to receive those applications? Because it is a bit of an administrative task
Receive,
to receive the applicants and filter
Once
them,
you get
schedule
them from the
meetings.
website, you mean the
No.
actual,
You will be receiving the emails
Just-
that they've
yeah.
applied.
Yeah.
Anybody? You?
I would,
Will take it?
I don't mind.
All right. All right, perfect.
Because it's an open and ongoing
Yeah,
intake, so yeah,
Yeah.
you can just categorize up, yeah,
okay.
no problem.
Yeah, because when I did it for the chief, I had a lot.
No, sure.
All right, moving right along. Discuss and/or possible action on appointments for ordinance 2021-181, Citizen Complaint Review Board. On the floor.
Okay, this actually came to my attention after I was appointed to fill the position of the council, thinking, well, I'm on the CCRP, but this was established back in 2021, and even if it was a 2-year term, my position would have been
Over.
terminated.
Over.
I would have been done. And I don't think any positions have been filled on the CCRP since then, so I would like to discuss filling these positions. And I know I have a couple of individuals who are interested
I
in
do
serving.
also.
And I think,
I have two.
We
Yes,
have,
ma'am.
we have 4 individuals from the city, citizens who are willing to participate. So we would need to look, excuse me,
Isn't it one council member?
it's, here's the,
Yeah, I'm
Qualified
the,
voter.
I'm the
Yeah.
chair.
so there are
Oh,
4
well,
residents.
I was the chair.
1 police officer, 1 employee from, non-police from the city, an elected official from the city, each appointed by the mayor or a city council member, so we could, I guess, make the recommendations and you would appoint them.
Is
I don't know if
anybody,
that's any swearing in. If I could ask the 2 individuals that.
well, is anybody opposed to a background check? Because that is a part of that.
Not for everyone, is it?
Okay, whoever it is.
For all the citizens.
Yeah,
you
it says
said-
by applying applicants
Mhm.
agree to a background check.
Mhm.
So everybody that's,
Well, I don't see any exceptions in there, other than, you know, our police officer has already undergone a background check. Looks like everybody else on that committee should have a background check. I just don't see any exceptions
I think
in the
a
ordinance.
local check would probably be adequate, just a local
Yeah.
check. And
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to do
Yeah, we don't need to,
a 10-year.
we don't need to call the
We need to go
FBI.
back 10 years.
Right, right.
So, do we need names? We need to.
How
Well,
would you like to
do you
proceed?
want to advertise or?
No, we got
already
them.
have
Oh, you already have.
Yes.
How
Yeah,
long
it-
ago
Is that-
was the last background check done on these people?
Say it again, Terry.
How long ago was the last background check done on these
Well,
individuals?
these
that
are all new people,
being brought
so,
forward?
Terry, so these are all new people, so they, I mean, they wouldn't have one from us.
It's being reinstated and updated.
Yeah,
Because
so-
we hadn't had done,
Right, so there are 4 brand new people being presented, so they would all be subject to the background check.
Okay, good. As long as we get the background check, yeah.
how should we proceed? Do you
So-
want us to
Well, I
Do I
name
want to do
them?
this by nomination?
I mean, we can nominate,
Okay.
did we not want to advertise?
We already, like I say, we have them. We've already fielded, I've talked to several people, and I have 2 people who are interested in
We-
Alderman Fillinger, Alderman Alvarado, Alderwoman Alvarado.
Mayor Pro Tem.
We have all
Yeah.
been searching, so that we wouldn't go through the same thing trying to do the,
I don't-
We didn't want to
I don't
prolong
like
it
how it
like we did the
presents.
P and Z.
I'm just gonna say, I don't like how it presents, that we already had people recommended coming in, but that's just my opinion.
But
I'll
Mayor-
do what y'all wanna do.
Mayor,
Question real quick.
but Mayor,
Who did you?
Hold on, Terry, hold on, Terry, go ahead,
Okay.
man.
Mayor, but you knew it was on the agenda. If you have nominations, or if anyone else has nominations,
No, I mean, I thought we were just discussing it, but, I mean, I get where we're actioning it too.
We're-
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
can-
throwing out my opinion. If I can't have my opinion, then why
no,
am
no,
I
no,
here?
I understand, and you're right to state your opinion. What I'm saying is that the CCRB has been in existence. It has had some issues come through.
Sure.
And so it's not that we didn't know about it, but we're trying to update it and reinstate people or nominate people.
So why wasn't that mentioned in when you emailed me that you already had recommendations?
We didn't feel that I can speak for myself, you know, the people existing already in the
Yeah.
CCRB, I assumed they would
Yeah,
keep their seats, you know, I didn't want to say, no, you can't have them.
Sure. I'm just,
Yeah.
again, that's just me stating.
the agenda
my
item
opinion.
states, action on appointments for the ordinance, so I would move that we move forward with appointments.
Okay.
Can I ask my question yet, or we're gonna? keep
Oh, yeah,
going?
sorry, go ahead, Terry.
Who all did you say you already spoke to this, Alderman?
I did not.
Said you already spoke to a couple of people already about this?
He's asking.
Yeah, they have 4 recommendations for the citizens.
You can approve them and not approve them. It's like up
What
to
I'm
you.
saying is, who all did you already speak to?
Can you provide the names, David?
Yeah,
Alderman
okay,
Figueroa,
I
who
have
else did you
David
say you already
Jones.
spoke to?
Excuse me.
Well, I think we were taking one at a time by name. If you
Right.
want to oppose it, you can.
Right.
I'm not asking who were those people, you said that you already spoke to board members, who did you speak to?
No, he spoke to citizens, they spoke to citizens to get their,
About serving.
yeah, about serving.
But he also said Alderman Bellinger, and he also said the Mayor Pro Tem,
You did say that earlier.
that he's already spoke to him about these.
I didn't speak to Alderman Fillinger, no.
No, that we have nominations.
It's on the agenda to make appointments.
Yes,
And
it is.
there
It's
are
been there
members
for
of the
quite some
council
time.
who have recommendations, who have appointment.
Okay, well, can you go through the names, sir?
Yes. I'm just gonna move
Go
forward
ahead.
with appointments. I recommend David Jones as one member. And sir, would you accept a position on the CCRB?
Yes.
And next, I would appoint John Kriegmer. And those are the two individuals I had.
Okay.
Okay. And I would nominate C.J. Walker. Ms. Walker, would you? And also Mike Abendano as our employee nomination.
That's what you're doing here, Mike.
One more. One more
And then I
citizen.
guess it's my turn.
Oh, you got one too? All right.
Yes,
See, I did talk. No, I'm just kidding.
it's on the agenda. I can't find anybody to sign up for planning and zoning,
All right,
but Mr. David Wilson, rise up and wave at people, sir.
Nice to meet everybody.
David's been here a year or so,
2,
and
3, 4.
has expressed to me in conversation that he would like to help the city grow and get better. So since we had this on the agenda, I thought this might be a time for him to do so. Now,
So we have our 4 residents,
so we have four residents
1 employee.
and 1 employee.
We have our police chief.
We do have our police chief or another officer.
Officer.
And unless you withdraw yourself, we have our elected official.
Right.
So,
And I'm willing to serve.
but
I gotta appoint you, right?
Unless.
Yeah.
I would say before we talk about appointments that Mayor Pro Tem Alvarado collect contact information and coordinate the application process, background information, so that we cannot appoint until we get
The applications.
the qualifications covered.
Qualifications.
Local citizen, registered voter,
We
a
have to
background
qualify.
check,
Okay.
and no court actions being taken.
Okay.
So on the police officer position, I think when this was adopted, the intent was it be a police officer, not the police chief?
Right. Right.
Okay, because the police chief
Because
would
it's for
typically
the-
make a recommendation to the board and present it.
So it would be our officer.
Okay.
I think Corporal Castillo just got drafted.
We're gonna have it passed this week.
Well, okay.
The ordinance is
already
passed. We just haven't filled positions. I think we've-
So then the motion really is, the motion would be to then just gather the information so that way we can coordinate.
We
it.
can appoint.
So,
You can appoint.
so that we can investigate the qualifications and then make a recommendation to
Okay.
appoint.
I'll move that we get all the contact information for individuals listed, that all that information as far as your name, phone number, email address, what have you, so we can, you can get contacted, so we can do the correct
Background check.
investigation, background check.
I'll second.
All right, so I got a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Alderman Rapino to have, who's the point of contact, Grace? Have Grace run point of contact to collect information from 4 recommendations. So that way we can conduct background checks and basically make a proper appointment. All those, and a second from Alderman Rapino. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, that motion passes. Agenda item P. All right, resolution number 2024-209, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks adopting a policy on medical and psychological examination, licensing, and providing an effective dates. As much as we'd like to take credit for this, this is a state of Texas, this is a TCOL resolution that we are looking at today. We do not have a choice. We do have to accept it, but it is on the agenda for discussion.
Did you say 209?
2024-209?
I have 208 on mine.
Oh, there was a, well, I have 209.
Not 209.
I got 209 too.
You always get the short end of the stick.
Actually, but it was-
See you, Mike.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. I have your information.
I gave this the subject of this.
But basically, actually, I'm not an expert in it, but I've been doing this for the past few weeks. But anytime you have a break-in status for a police officer, they do need to have a psychological evaluation, they need to have a drug test, they need to have a fit for fitness exam, they need to have fingerprinting. Anytime you hire an individual with a greater than 180 days.
Can I have a question?
Sure.
Question, sir, of the city attorney? The agenda item references discussion of ordinance 2024-209, and we're discussing a resolution. Is that legit?
Yeah, as long as the actual item is properly noticed, then it is okay. It's just, the city adopts most policies by resolution and rules and laws and codes by
Okay.
ordinance.
Continue, sir.
Is it an ordinance or
So
is it
it'll be a resolution.
Strike ordinance and put resolution.
On the agenda, yes.
Uh-huh.
So it's state mandated, we have to approve it.
September 1st.
I move we approve resolution
What
number
says
2024-209.
Adopt.
I move we adopt
All right,
resolution
I'll
number.
second.
There you go. I have a motion from Alderman Tremblay and a second from Alderman Rapino to adopt resolution number 2024-209, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sandy Oaks adopting a policy on medical and psychological examination of a licensee and providing an effective date. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, thank you. We can move to agenda item 11 if somebody would like to.
Move to adjourn, sir.
We are adjourned at 7:29.
Go watch the ball game, sir.
He's already on the mound, so we gotta make it over.
Check with if we did one, chief,
What's, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Do you get one for council?
Yeah.
Doing a good job, Michael. We're getting here.
No, I don't care. I don't mind.
That's my goal. Going forward, my last 2 years, getting out.
David, I made myself know, Mark, what type of, are we just?
So I explain what Charles says?
I made myself know that.
Good job. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah, no, that's good.
Should I have changed that on the agenda since we had it posted?
No.
Too late.
Yeah, because I didn't have it posted.
Social Security number.
And I realized, yeah, I thought it was, I
order to
didn't
get the
realize
background
we
on
were either gonna specify ordinance or resolution. I thought you were just gonna say the policy.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I never got that.
There's just too many people in the state that have the same name as their birth. The social club will pinpoint the actual.
And then you're off tomorrow, right?
Just have it. I'm gonna work till noon.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, so, yeah. So that'll give me time.
What do we need to do tomorrow? Just gonna sign it?
Yeah, but you don't work till noon. But I said you're giving me your email back.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Don't leave, Tom, don't leave. I need to have you sign one document for the budget. Okay, he's coming.
But, yeah, no, I just need to make sure we get a social because there's too many, like, John Gonzalez.
Yeah, we were I signed it already, the one that.
You got it for the budget? You signed that? Okay, good.
You want my TDL?
Qualifications.
Yeah, that's right, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I just need to name their birth control. Like I said, there's too many Juan Gonzalez's birthday in the state of Texas with the same date of birth, so I need to.
How you doing, Tom?
Good job. I got a spinal injection at
You
3
did?
o'clock. Trying to get rid of this pain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Is it helping?
Not yet.
I took care of them from Monday till
Usually
today.
takes a while.
He takes care of them from Thursday
If I
evening
no
until
doubt
Sunday
you do
evening.
okay.
I take care of them from Sunday evening until Thursday evening.
No, I understand, and, I get it, I'm just trying to get, I have a plan to get fully staffed, and I think we can work together
And I don't need
for 1 year without.
I'm only taking the eggs down because I'm taking them that I
Get somebody else to try the hormone.
My goal is to have 24-hour coverage in San Diego, by city of San Diego. And I've got a schedule that'll work, if I can just hit that last time.
Okay. What am I signing?
We're working on it, I've got, like I said, I have a plan.
Really?
All right, can I count on you?
May I ask a question?
I'm missing one. Oh,
The last position's a 4:30.
What you read about,
right away.
Maybe not.
Then we can get everything.
I'm not mistaken, what you read, my property line exceeds.
I don't think it was the right.
Well,
Where they
they dug the ditch out, Ken Jones, but I measured from the back. And I live on top of the rock beach for the water.
My stairs
I'm
didn't
10 foot out in the ditch, okay? So that puts me about
And 3 steps to do
4 or
it.
5 feet
3
from the
steps, so I
road.
dug them out so that he can move that because
But
No, I mean, that's what I plan on doing now, right? You got an item that you
I mean,
wanna
your
do?
setback is
Then just run it.
setback. You don't have.
All right.
You got everybody minus me?
Her and Coffee Doctor.
Yeah. And I don't know when he's gonna come back. So we might maybe send it to him electronically, sign it, and
You're
send it
the
back.
setback. I live with him.
Yeah, you're gonna have to move that piece of concrete.
Or he can try down the road.
Yeah, but he's out of town.
No,
He clocked in, well, I didn't know exactly, because I saw it, and it was 6:48.
So I asked him, but he didn't tell me. Grace, I need your signature right there.
Blue, 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 blue.
I think that's blue.
Porfa, please.
Okay, so it's not, you can't post it in the right of way. In the line that I could read, it said that.
What am I signing?
Or not.
What am I saying?
It's just after the fact.
Yeah, it's the budget.
The voting.
Budget stuff,
Oh, the
yeah.
budget.
Yeah,
The
the budget.
Is it the budget? No.
The
The voting, yeah.
The voting election thing, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
and I wouldn't.
So I'm not gonna sign it until he does. Do you want me to sign it too?
Yeah, might as well.
I didn't think it was a big deal for the CRB because when I came on council, they said, you're the chair because so-and-so is gone. I was like, okay. So I just assumed the people that were on the state.
I say things because I wanna make sure people be like,
People,
no.
if they had that doubt.
Yeah.
Glad you're here, man.
And I don't mind, I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, I just want to get it done because they haven't done anything. Again,
Yeah. But what that also means, right, that we haven't had any complaints at you.
thank God.
All right? Well, look, I cleaned up my office.
No way.
Do the signs come with the state thing? Usually they do.
Yeah, but if you.
He's at home asleep.
Oh, you know, they do come with.
buy some white duct tape.
I would suggest though, when you put, you're gonna have to get people permission.
Oh, you can fall asleep.
I'm
You
just
can
gonna
do
give
that.
it to people. That one,
I'm sorry? Yes.
I'm
Go ahead.
David Wilson.
David Wilson.
And the mayor gets one too. She's gonna-
And I'm spelled Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm gonna say-
And your phone number?
210
210
982
982
Yeah, I said.
92
22.
22.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and a email address.
DWIL
DWIL
SR
SR
721
721
Yes, ma'am, 721 at iCloud.com.
at iCloud. That's the first search for it. .com, right? Okay. And they usually ask for, he was,
It's actually
that's for asking for social security
Well, when you enunciate.
and date of birth.
You say that
Do
there.
you want to provide the first one?
450
450
My dad was Portuguese.
75,
Midero is,
1858
Portuguese last name.
One.
He's a full-blood Portuguese.
185 450
And, yeah,
Oh.
and his, mother's
I
maiden name
didn't put the
was
dash, so I was
Midero.
throwing myself out. 1858.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And driver's license is 382 39942.
Big 9942. Okay. Texas.
That's fine.
Okay. And we got your email. We got your phone number.
Date of birth,
Date of birth.
9/26/85.
Right, right.
926.
But after my
85.
grandfather
I
divorced.
think that's all I need.
Oh, I'm converting.
Okay.
And
Yeah, if I
something
need
right
anything
along
else, I'll
the-
either email you or, do you mind if I text?
Oh, the text call? Yeah, I'm right on the corner.
Okay, cool.
Madera.
I can,
Madera.
I like texting because I do it, forget it.
Yes.
Yes.
No problem at all.